Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. Come on in. Come on in. This is the Dallas Cowboys late night report a little bit earlier than normal. I didn't make it in yesterday, so I came in a little early today. We had some technical difficulties with our internet yesterday. That caused a little bit of an issue, but it's okay because we're back today. We're coming in a little bit early. So if you're getting ready to watch this and you're used to only watching it at 10 p.m., well, here we are at 7:30 p.m. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys, just like we do every night, typically 10 p.m. till about 10:20, 10:30. I try to get everything that you need in a really small piece of time. And today we're going to talk a little bit about offense. I feel everybody's talking about defense. I think it's consistently talking about the defense. And I want to have a conversation about whether or not you guys feel that the defense is going to be supported by another great performance by the offense again this year. Can the offense repeat itself this year? That's what we're going to be working on. And we're going to talk about it right now.
I'm starting a fugitive recovery team, and
Wait.
I need you. Welcome to the bounty team. Officially. I got a whole team of gladiators. Chris, Valentina, Stacy.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, please, Chris, that's it. We got action, Chris. We got...
I'm getting too old for this.
They are an accident waiting to happen. Stephen A, hush your mouth, talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty D, Texas where we stay at. We decide in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and nah, we don't play that. Work. This is Cowboy Nation. Work. Welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work. Y'all can keep on hate. Work.
Yes, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. This is the Dallas Cowboys Late Night Report. I am your host, D. Will. We are asking that you support our sponsor. Our sponsor is the television series Bounty, which is on Tubi. Tubi is free. You can download Tubi for free. We ask that you go and check out Bounty on Tubi. It's going to be another message a little bit later, so you'll know why it's so passionate for me. All right. But right now, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about, more specifically, the Dallas Cowboys offense this time, because a lot of talk about the defense. Because the defense was horrible this year. We just got a new coach. A lot of people questioning. In my last live, which was Friday of last week, because we didn't do one yesterday, we talked about whether or not they were going to let their defensive coordinator choose his own staff. We see now that he's able to do that. He's coming in. He's going to pick his players. He's going to pick his coaches. He's going to create a new identity for the defense. And that is something that Dallas Cowboys fans can really be excited about. A new philosophy of defense. We've had some bad defenses for a very long time. I mean, we went through the Quinn era where we actually had a pretty decent defense. We just got kind of bullied around, but we had a good defense. We just didn't have big enough guys. But that was Dan Quinn's philosophy, was to have the faster, quicker, longer guys rather than having the stronger guys. And so when you got to a game where they wanted to just hand the ball off 40 plays, you couldn't do anything to stop it. They basically just ran the ball down your throat, and that was what his philosophy was. But at least we had a decent defense during that period of time. Now, we're hoping that there's a new philosophy, obviously, with this new coordinator. But besides those years, I mean, the Cowboys have had some bad defenses. I mean, you remember the Tony Romo era where Tony would score 40 points, kind of like last year, right? And we still wouldn't win the game, 30 points, and we still wouldn't win the game. And that was at a time where, 30, 40-point games were harder to come by than they are right now because it's, really offense heavy right now. The NFL is offense heavy. They want to give as much as they can to the offense because they feel like the higher the score, the more people want to watch, right? So the NFL got a little softer. They don't allow you to knock guys out no more from a defensive standpoint. So it's way easier to score 35 and 40 points. Romo was doing it when it wasn't so easy, and we didn't have a defense that could support that, right? And that was an issue continuously for the Dallas Cowboys. And now what the question is we had one of the better offenses last year. It wasn't the best, and could have been the best. I think at the end they were just like, man, need us doing nothing because we're not gonna keep up in some of these games, right? But we had one of the best offenses in the league last year, statistically. Will we be able to repeat that? And there's a lot of things, in my opinion, that can help determine that. First of all, we had 2 bad tackles this year, and we were able to do it. So even if we don't correct the tackle situation, we were still able to figure out ways to make that happen. Now, here's the thing. A lot of coaches were able to see how you did that, and they may be able to correct some things that stop you from being able to do that this year. And so correcting or creating better tackles or finding better tackles may actually do you some justice, right? But I think that would be one of the first things that, as a coach, if I was a player personnel guy, I'm thinking, can we protect Dak? We got to be able to protect Dak because if Dak goes down, we're definitely not making any Super Bowl runs, any of that kind of stuff. So one of the first things that I would want to see when you start to talk about how can our offense repeat what it did last year is we got to be able to protect Dak, which means we need to do something about our tackles. Now, again, we did it with the tackles that we had this year. I understand that. And so I'm not saying by any means necessary, get rid of our tackles. I'm simply saying, if we can find better, then let's find better. I don't want to just get rid of one and be like, we need to find something else, and then we end up with somebody worse. That's not a good situation either. So I think that would be the number one thing. And I've told you guys a few times now, nobody likes it, so nobody agrees with me, but I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys are good with their running back situation. They feel like they're going to have Williams back and a productive Blue this year. And we've had that whole conversation. If you go back to some of my other podcasts, we actually discussed how, Blue wasn't doing good at the beginning of the year. It took him all year to kind of catch up. Well, this year he's going to be in the same offense again, and they feel like that sophomore jump is going to come because he really understands what he needs to do in coverage, in blocking, in the pass game and the running game. He knows where he needs to be. Anything he didn't know at the end of the year, he has all off season to try to figure it out and get ready for a productive season. So they feel like that between Williams and Blue, they're going to have a better running game than they had this year, right? I believe Williams was injured at the end of the year. I saw some plays where he really ran up there and made a block and then like fell to his knees almost. Like, I'm not sure. I think they rang his bell or something. I don't know. I heard his shoulder was injured and he had some other injuries, yada, yada, yada. They gave him time to rest. He's going to have all offseason to rest. He's going to come back stronger, I feel like, ready to rumble when it comes into next year. And to not have to be necessarily the bell cow the whole time, but to have somebody like an explosive player like Blue. And we saw it with Malik Davis, where Malik Davis was able to come in and he had fresh legs. So he was able to, kind of scatter around and do what he had to do to, make some long plays from the running game as well as some long plays from the passing game, keeps this team, right at the top of the NFL as far as offenses is concerned. It also keeps the defense from being able to just back up and go after Dak every play, because he doesn't have to pass every play. We actually have a viable situation with running, and to have somebody like Blue who can take a run 20 or 30 yards gives you even more of an incentive to want to hand it off than to pass. So again, that helps. Even if you don't fix the tackle situation, that actually helps. So from a line situation, the running back situation, understanding what it is that the Cowboys want to do, they definitely want to sign. As a matter of fact, Stephen Jones, I think he came on 105.3 The Fan is where it was. I didn't actually hear it. I saw it in a podcast somewhere or a Facebook post somewhere. I don't know. But I believe Stephen Jones actually came in and said that Javonte Williams was one of the top people on his list as far as getting re-signed. They're looking to do a multi-year deal with him. So that's going to be at the top of the list. I think Pickens has to be at the top of the list. Again, a multi-year deal. We understand that that's who we're talking about, and Jerry and the agent didn't get along when it was time for him. It's the same agent as Micah Parsons. So we understand that there's going to be some situation there. But I think that getting him re-signed gives you the double-edged sword on as far as wide receiver with CD and Pickens. You have a running game, being able to do something at that point with your tackles is, kind of a moot point. I believe that you have an opportunity to actually I believe you have an opportunity to repeat what you had. And that's what I think we have to have. If we're going to have a better defense, whether it's better by being middle of the road instead of end of the road, or if it's actually one of the best, I think the number one thing is we still have to be able to do what we did this year on offense. Can we repeat what we did on offense? That's what my question is. That's what I want you guys to answer in the chat. Whether or not you think we can repeat on offense next year what we did this year, because that is going to be one of the top things. That's pretty much all I got to talk to you guys about today. Came on a little bit early. We will be back on 10 p.m. tomorrow night live for the Dallas Cowboys Late Night Report. I am your host, D. Will. This has been Defending the Boys. I'm out.